last but not least, the old Samurai. Now you guys have probably seen this boy in the background, just hanging out. So what we are doing is we are going to be doing a little bit with the steering on this one. And this is happening tonight. So this is gonna be the first project that we work on other than Jersey. I bought some parts. I can show you those now. Off of eBay, figure, good old eBay, from a junkyard. And these are exactly what you think they are and why it says it. That is a Toyota Prius 092, I think 2012. ECU module for steering. And this is the unit that it comes with. So this unit actually sits in the vehicle like so. And let's see here. Nope, sorry, like this. So this handle would be the adjuster handle, and that would slide this whole steering column up and down, which that'll all get removed. And what we're trying to do, if you haven't figured it out yet, is put electric power steering on the Samurai, because these 33 Super Swampers, 33-inch Super Swampers, ugh, tongue twister here, is very difficult to steer with this tiny little manual box when these things came with like 15-inch tall tires, or at least you'd think it would. So we are going to cut out a portion of this steering section and see if we can't snag it in here somewhere. There has been some other people that have been successful with it. I think I got enough room to be able to do it. If not, I will make room, because I would like to keep these size of tires on there. Hey, and if anybody has any of these Super Swampers or said 33-inch tires that have some decent tread, hit me up. I might be interested. These are 15-inch rims. Let's see here. What else is there with this thing? Oh, this is, so a little background on this. This is actually a motor out of a Geo Metro, and the head, that's a 1.6 liter, so a little bit different than what we're used to for horsepower-wise, but that is a 1.3 head, so it's quenched it quite a bit as far as compression-wise goes. This thing starts right up, as long as it's got a little bit of fuel in the bowls. It's fun. We use it, tool around. We used to run Ellie with it. We, travel around to neighbors' houses with it. It's got a 5-speed and a grenade in the middle for low for the for the 4-wheel drive. It does have a small stereo system in it. It's just a fun little toy. We picked it up. We used to have a Razor. That thing was fun, but this thing, I don't know. It's just different. Yeah, it does anything we need it to. So that's what we're going to be working on. That is the overview. Not like we don't have enough to do, but yeah. So with further ado, I'm going to go ahead and get started on this stuff and see what we can do. All right, here we go. So this is what we're left with. So, man, that is zoomed in a lot, but whatever. This is what you saw me cut apart. This is the Prius unit. This is the part that will slide over that. This is where the original steering wheel, original Prius steering wheel went to. So this has splines, as you can see in there. See if it'll pick it up. Maybe not. Anyways, you see the splines in there. That's going to spline with this. This is the output. So all we got to do, it's just that easy, right? We just got to cut, let's say right here. and right, well, I'm gonna cut that down because I got to weld right there on, and I gotta cut somewhere in here, right there. So then I will have the original front that goes to the steering, middle being that guy, and end, which will go to that steering box. Fun fact is that I am gonna have to figure out how to mount this bad boy, because it's gonna wanna flop, right? It's gonna wanna flop. Don't mind that valve, it's actually was just holding that up for demonstrations. It's gonna wanna flop when I rotate, obviously, because this has to stay stationary. So you saw me move some brackets and junk off of here. And these are gonna be some nice holes that I think I can bracket somehow, some way, once I get, probably bring that thing over here, some way off of the fender. If I can re-support it from the other side with some angle iron, or potentially building a bracket off the motor here, because I think this is where in the Geo Metro the power steering pump went, because there's a belt there and blah blah blah. Yes, I know I could have just did a different steering rack or manual box or power steering box with a power steering pump. That probably would have been simple, but I thought this would be cool and I wanted to do it, so nah, I'm doing it. There's the old joint. Everything looks good there. It's got some good, there's no play in it. There's a little play in it, but I think we'll be all right. Oh, it's just in the wall. Okay, we're good. Okie dokie, so I'm gonna keep going and see what we can get. This was the original steering linkage? Steering rod, steering linkage rod. Yeah, whatever. So I cut that piece off, and that's supposed to go to the steering box, which is great. This was originally the piece that had a knuckle in the Prius. So I will need to weld this to this, and check this crap out. It fits right over. Are you serious? Man, that's awesome. You know how easy that weld's gonna be? Even I can do that. So that's what we're doing. This is gonna make everything so freaking nice. I've already started mocking it up in the actual Samurai. Dude, I don't know if it's just mine or what, because I've seen some other people install these, and they used this stuff, right? So they actually installed this under the dash, which I didn't want to do because I didn't want to get rid of all my turn signals and everything, because it's already set up for the road stuff. We could license it, we may insure it, whatever, if we want to take it on the road. The steering's always been the issue. It's been out of control. I mean, it's 33-inch Super Swampers and a super tiny steering box, so this is going to help that. Plus, I got a stabilizer shock under there. I'm just excited about this because this is, I did not expect it to just, everything's falling into place, which is great. So I'm sure I'm going to hit a roadblock later, but for now, we're rolling with it. So I will mock this up and kind of give you an idea of what it's going to look like. Okay, here we go. Check this out. So, got our steering box down there. Whoop. And this was the piece. Let me get my hands down here so I can see them. This was the piece we just cut, right? So that's where we cut it. Now, remember I showed you that this slides right into it. Look how compact this stuff is. Let me bring it back out here. Other times I've seen people install these, they were back up here. People had to put heat shields. Yes, aftermarket header. There is going to be some heat in here because it doesn't have a heat shield. I can protect this later. That's not a big issue at all. So check this out. That's it. That's all I got to do, man. All I got to do is measure from here to here, get that measurement, and I'll probably even take about maybe a little bit out. So because this thing's got some play, so I could pull an inch out. like there, and be golden. And this thing is gonna rock. Other plus, dude, this thing's like almost on the frame. Like right now it's resting on the frame, but when I put everything in, it's gonna pick up off the frame about 1/4 inch. And look what's down there. Boink. Those are the mounting holes that we had, right? Just right down there. So now I gotta make is basically an angle iron piece that may be the width of the frame. I could weld it in or bolt it in or whatever, and then bolt these right to it. And then Bob's your uncle. This sucker's done, man. All I gotta do is wire it up. These things are cool too. So I don't know if you watched other videos, may have, and that's probably why you may be here, and not necessarily because of Dream Killer Racing, but either way, this is the power, right? And then there's a ignition on in here. I believe you got to have this hooked up to the ECU, which we can mount right here. I can't remember if that's correct. I think you got to have the ECU. That's what will control this unit. There is a sensor down here. It's on the underside here. You probably saw it earlier. It was blue. Oops, sorry about that. Microphone's in the way. It's kind of fuzz in. There it goes. So then once you turn the ignition on or flip a switch, then it will say, hey, ECU, where's my main computer ECU? And then it says, oh, I can't find it. And then it will go into, idiot mode, but it still works. That's the whole key with this stuff, is that you don't have to have the entire control system or computer system in order for this all to work, which is awesome. So that's why you see quite a few people doing stuff like this. But I think this is, I don't know, not to get ahead of myself, but I think it's one of the cleanest installs so far, and it's gonna be sweet. Cannot wait. So I'm gonna go ahead and take the measurement, get this all welded up, and start looking at how we're gonna mount this. I might be able to wrap this up tonight. And honestly, if I wasn't videotaping and everything and going at it, I really think I could have done all this in about an hour, but taking my time, enjoying it. I haven't been in the shop for a while, so this is fun. I like it when stuff goes right, and it's a good time. So, all right, onward. All right, so everything's welded in, and the final fit was perfect. I am super ecstatic about this. Let me blow you out of here. Super ecstatic about this. This shaft welded just fine. Didn't even really need to use much filler rod. I cut it in short so we could pull that up off out of there. So this does slide quite a bit. The rag joint is back in, ready to rock. As you can see, I'm gonna move the steering wheel, and I haven't mounted it yet, but you'll see, I mean, it's in line. Everything's perfectly straight on this. Whatever isn't that rag joint's gonna pick up. I might get some new material for it, or maybe just go straight to it. I don't know. I gotta look some stuff up, but it all worked out. Now I gotta do is actually mount the unit, which is gonna be down there like we said before. Just a piece of angle iron likely from the frame, and drill some holes and bolt it in. We'll have to index it, so probably like right here where we got a little bit of a nice gap. We're a ways away from the header. The ECU I could even tuck back up over here if need be to keep it away again from the heat. I don't know how much of a heat is going to be an issue, but we are looking really, really good. So excited, man. I hope this works. If not, hey, it's pretty cool, I guess. All right, on to the next one. Okay. So fast forward a little bit here. I kind of got on a tangent and just took off. So what I've done is I built that bracket, tried milling it out. So I might include that, I don't know. We had some problems with cooling the bit and everything. So still working out that portion. So what you can see here is the bracket that I built. I welded it to the frame, front and rear, spray painted it. Bolted it in, which it's taken me close to probably 15 minutes to get those bolts tight. That had beat the fender in a little bit. Got everything, the rag joints hooked back up, everything's tightened down. But this is it. Pretty compact. As you can see, I got plenty of space between the header and the actual steering components, and then put the ECU up here. So now all I got to do is come back here and put power to this one and ground, and then there is the top left pin up there. I believe that has to have ignition or hot that will turn this whole unit on. That's how I understand it, at least. So that's the next thing that I'm going to do. I'm going to see if I can find the connectors. When I ordered this, I did not get the outs, so unfortunately I will have to either make my own or order ones. I'm not sure what I'm gonna do yet, but I will let you know. But I wanted to catch you up. As you can see, steering will act as normal. This is me moving the steering wheel in the vehicle. It can still move. It does not care. It will act as just as if this was not on here, which is fine and great. If this fails in any other way, or if this does not work, then oh man, I'm gonna be pissed. But if anything were to happen to this, you'd still have full control of the vehicle. So it is a direct connect all the way through. So all right, next update will be the wiring, and then that will be that. See what we can do. All right, here we go, final update. This is after we got it wired. We ran a positive and negative right here, as said, from the battery, which is over there. We took a ignition wire off of the fuse panel and ran it through that wire loom back here, or excuse me, through the firewall there. Just plugged it in next to you know, those fuse adapters that you can slide in with a fuse. Nothing crazy. So whenever the system turns on, it activates the ECU, and then that gives you full control. So next we're gonna go for a drive. Okay. Okay, so this is without the power steering on. So I have to kind of crank it a little bit rough. And so the reason it's not working is because the power is not on, it's not activated. So let's go ahead and start it. This thing starts like a dream too. But as I say that, it doesn't want to do it. Okay, how about let's try this again with some fuel. That works. So, as you can see, neutral, and now you give it 10 seconds to activate because it goes into limp mode. Basically, it's like the Toyota Prius computer that's in the Samurai is trying to talk to the ECU that was previously in the Prius, and it can't, so then it goes into dummy mode, idiot mode, whatever, and ta-da. You can wheel it however you want. So, and it doesn't rebound, it tries to stick, so let's go for a drive. So before going over this rough terrain, I used to have to use two hands, and now you can just steer with one. It's nice enough that I actually taught my wife how to drive stick yesterday with it because, well, she's never driven a stick. And now that the steering's fixed, she can actually maneuver it. So, that acts like a regular car. This camera mount sucks. Alright, so there you go. Now you know. If you ever want to do this to a Samurai, I think it's one of the easiest things I've ever done to it. So, with that being said, give it a shot. They're cheapest alternative to going through the steering pump or rack and pinion, unless you're buying used stuff, and I'm sure there's other stuff. But for what I was doing, it was fun and was able to make it work. So, Yep. So, see ya.